Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. So glad you could attend. Step in the tent, my friends and movie maniacs, as we look at another indie film, and this one's called Masterpieces. Now, it's written and directed by Joffrey Ciani and Christian Twist, and we get the story of a man, Christian Twist, who is, he's going through a rough patch. And not only in the real world as far as job and his relationship and such, but also mentally. And we stick with Christian as we see the world through his perspective as he more and more gets paranoid, thinking something's out to get him, and just the world is against him. And we see how these things play out in his mind. And that's kind of the plot synopsis. It's a bit tough with this one because it's very surreal, quite a bit. Once you realize what they're doing, I think you'll get into this film more. For me, I found in the beginning part of it, I'm like, okay, because there were a number of things that weren't quite making sense. And then there was the point that clicked where I was like, this is what we're going through. We're sticking with the main character. That's kind of a one-man show. Yes, you have other cast around, but Christian really sells this guy who is just on the edge and what's reality and what's not. And I loved seeing the world through his eyes once I realized that's what we're doing in this film. And if going into that, if you know that, a lot of things will make a lot more sense as they go along. And you just sit in, strap your buckle up, and go along for the ride through insanity. It's definitely a showcase for Twist's talent. I loved his character, and seeing him slowly just go down deeper and deeper into breaking the walls of reality and fiction. And you get that feeling along with him. So they do a great job there of connecting you with this character, putting you in his place, and making you feel what he feels, which is just kind of, blending of these two worlds. Now, the rest of the cast in here does really well, too. Tija Nicoli, and I hope I pronounced that right. If not, playing the Dr. Brenda Dobbs, as well as a hiring manager position in here. Loved that. There's kind of a bit of a corporate angle, like maybe there's a corporate conspiracy thing going on, and really loved the way she performed both these roles. Ryan McNamara playing the detective Hamilton. There's some humor worked into here as well, especially with the detectives, and I liked that. It wasn't completely dark and just insanity. You do have some humor in here to lighten up the moments, where you need to, and so I appreciated that quite a bit. And Sid Stauffer playing the Brenda Dobbs character, who is different than the Dr. Brenda Dobbs character. Just from that alone, you can tell what maybe you're getting into with Masterpieces. And at the end, are you going to get an explanation for everything of how things are and what they play out? They do give you some answers. You just go along for the ride, though, and at the end, there are some things that are going to want you to think about, some head-scratching things, and things that are going to probably make you want to watch it again to see if you picked up any clues, with the resolution that you have in here. So Masterpieces is definitely an interesting, different indie film that explores a man's insanity. A great showcase for some talent in here. They work with a very limited budget and they make the most of it, showing you don't need a whole lot of budget if you have creative editing, an interesting screenplay, and some solid direction, which this film does have. And now again, not exactly always my type of film, but I found it very ambitious, and I think they mostly accomplish what they were setting out to do in this film, but don't expect just a regular linear narrative, because then you will be disappointed and probably turn it off. So, Masterpieces, there you have it, folks. If you have seen this film, leave your comments, as always, down below. I always love hearing from you out there on your constructive thoughts on these films. I thank you for your support, and until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub.